You know what I imagine? I imagine that when we have a guest who's an author, right? We speak to them about their book, right? And then when they come back, like when we have a return guest,
Yes.
that everything they've done between the time we spoke to them last and to the time we speak to them now, which is about to happen,
Yeah.
they've been in a different world. And that world is all encased in that book, right? And now they have to tell us about that world they've been in. So it's almost like talking to a traveler, right? Like, where have you been? Even though they may have been physically in the same room, in the same chair, right? For the last year, or however long it takes to write a novel. Judy Walter has been with us before, and she's got a new book. It's called Murder at the Bus Depot. Judy is a best-selling author. Her awards include the Western Writers of America, the National Cowboy Museum Hall of Fame, the Texas Institute of Letters. She was inducted into the Texas Literary Hall of Fame, and she's recognized as an outstanding woman of Fort Worth and a woman who has left her mark on Texas, and I must say on us here in Florida as well.
It has.
Murder at the Bus Depot. Judy Alter, where have you been? Good morning, Judy. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
We're good. Are you in Texas right now?
I am in Texas, hot, old Texas.
And so the last time we talked to you, it must have been more than a year. So I'm guessing you spend your time writing books, and you're, in a way, you're in that other world, aren't you?
Mostly.
Yeah. So do you like going to that other world?
Pardon?
Do you like going to that other world?
Yes, I do. I get wrapped up in the world of my characters. And I enjoy it. I'm kind of at loose ends if I don't have a project going.
So this is a Blue Plate Cafe mystery novel. So these characters, we're familiar with some of these characters?
Right. This is the fourth book in the series.
Okay.
And this is really wonderful because you've got a time span in this one, and you're not just taking a look at one murder, but you're doing like two.
Right. There's a 30-year-old unsolved murder. And, of course, it gets solved in the course of this one, and it relates to the murders that take place in this one.
You know, once upon a time, we weren't able to say we have an unsolved murder 30 years later, but I think DNA has made that possible. I mean, with the exception of maybe somebody confessing on their deathbed, we really couldn't do anything about something that was a cold trail, could we? I mean...
No, and DNA is not the total be-all, end-all. You have to have DNA on both sides. I mean... You know, and a lot of people's DNA is never registered.
That's
and
true.
you're also a humorist, because even in the face of solving these murders and everything, that Kate has to concentrate on what's going on to bring the town together with this festival. So I found the humor in that.
Well, I hope there was a little humor. Silas Fletcher, the antagonist, is everything I don't like about developers.
And was it your way?
You know, I'm sorry. I'm a preservation person. The neighborhood I live in, the university is changing the face of some of the neighborhoods, and we're losing all those little 1950s bungalows, and they speak to our history, and that's kind of what I was saying in that book. The bungalows and the modest homes in that little town speak to a part of our history, as does bus travel. We don't travel by bus much anymore. We don't need a bus depot except in big cities.
Yeah, I guess that's really true, yeah.
Yeah, except where the train doesn't come. We used to have the Amtrak stop here in Ocala, but now we have to take the bus from here to Jacksonville if we want to hop on the Amtrak. And I do
really?
Yeah, and I do know what those bus depots feel like.
Yes. Yeah, I've been in a few bus depots, but the little town bus depot that used to kind of send people off on long trips, we don't have that anymore. That's why the one in the book is closed. But it just happened to be the site of a murder, and that is actually based on fact.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Did you dig into something and maybe without DNA solve a crime?
I have a friend who lives in a small town about 30 miles from Fort Worth, and she's a preservationist. And half the town wanted to tear down this old abandoned bus depot, and the other half wanted to save it. And my friend ended up with it in her backyard because she wanted to save it. But it really was the site of a murder.
Oh, wow.
My.
Oh, wow. And was that murder ever solved or no?
No. Everybody in town thinks they knew who did it, but there's been no prosecution, no proof.
And your book shows some of the town characters. They have kind of a lackadaisical attitude about Wheeler, about the town itself, and Kate is trying to bring more community pride to that area.
Yeah, Fletcher's trying to make it uptown with big chain stores, excuse me, and boutiques and cute little shopping areas, and that's not what every small town is about.
But then you got her brother-in-law that comes in on the scene too, and even he has ideas that are different from hers.
Yes.
And that's pretty interesting because in the political races, since he is the mayor of the town, everybody has to weigh in whether they like that particular candidate or not.
Right. I tend to be a female writer. I write better about women than I do men, and I really work on making the men in my book interesting and having a position.
Except for the developer, right? You don't like the developer.
Yeah, but he's got.
No, I don't like the developer.
Yeah, but you did a great job with his personality too. It's very true. It's true to form.
Is there a developer out there that this person resembles?
Is he supposed to be humble? No.
No,
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I have a son-in-law who's in a side-related profession to real estate, and he's all gung-ho for all the development we can get. And the thing that shows it most to you is there are two plants next to each other in my garden.
Uh-huh.
One is a wildflower, and one is a very cultivated flower.
Uh-huh.
The wildflower is me. The cultivated one is put there by my son-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
You really have an eclectic way of writing because your writing runs the gamut of books for children and adults, and then women also. And this book is a nice balance between the female character and the personalities of the men that you created.
Thank you. I think these books could be read by young people. You know, when we talk about young adult books, I know I have young adults in my family, and that's not what they're reading. They're reading adult books.
Yeah, that's probably true, yeah.
Especially with mysteries, and you do a great job with this mystery novel.
Judy sent this.
Thank you. I spent years thinking I could never write a mystery.
Oh, really? And did it change? Did just simply writing one change your mind about that?
Yeah, I thought if I wrote one mystery and it got into print, I would be content. I would quit. Well, that's not what happened. I've written, I think, 13. But I wrote the first one just to prove to myself that I could do it. There are a lot of bad mysteries out there, and I thought, well, if other people can do it, surely I can.
Oh, wow. I love that. Judy sent us a copy of the book. If you would like the one that was sent to us, please call me right now, and I'll leave it on the desk here. It's called Murder at the Bus Depot. It's a Blue Plate Cafe mystery novel, so if you're familiar with Judy Alter's other works, then you'll be familiar with some of these characters a little bit. Judy, do you have a website dedicated to the book?
I have a website dedicated to me, which features the book.
Okay.
It's www.judyalter.com. Couldn't be easier.
And Judy Alter is JUDYALTER, judyalter.com. Judy, thank you for being on the show again. If you're ever in Central Florida, come into the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. North Korean state TV has aired a 42-minute special about the leader Kim Jong-un's summit in Singapore with President Trump, with Kim as the star naturally. But President Trump treated very respectfully. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says, speaking in China,
"We have made very clear that the sanctions and the economic relief that North Korea will receive will only happen after the full denuclearization, the complete denuclearization of North Korea."
The annual congressional baseball game is tonight in Washington, D.C. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise will be starting at second base and leading off for the Republicans. He was shot at a practice for the game a year ago today. 9 surgeries later, he tells Fox's Steve Ducey,
"I earned the starting job back again. Look, that was great, but it tells you how bad the talent level is."
The game's played at Nationals Park, with the money raised going to local Washington, D.C. charities. They've been playing these games since 1909. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Ever wonder why Miller High Life is called the champagne of beers? Because it's a flavorful, easy-drinking beer with a perfect storm of tiny champagne-like bubbles. And it's been that way since 1903.
If you've got the time,
welcome to the High Life.
We've got the beer, Miller Beer.
2018 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Drink High Life responsibly.
When posting on most job sites, you get candidates.
I'm the sales director.
I'm the sales
director you're looking for.
But when you post on Indeed.com, you get the candidates just right for you.
I'm a sales director with an MBA, over 10 years experience, who's also fluent in Japanese.
With Indeed, you can add screener questions for a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Giving is the good life. Sit back, relax, and save lives this summer by donating blood with LifeSouth. Our chairs are comfy, our snacks are delicious, and our drinks are cold. The need for blood doesn't take a summer vacation, so spend part of yours helping patients in need at the local hospitals. We don't need much of your time. Sit back, relax, save lives, give blood. Giving is the good life at LifeSouth. For more information, go to lifesouth.org or call 888-795-2707.
I'm having a hot flash, a tropical...
Menopause the Musical, the off-Broadway parody hit that will have you cheering at your seat and dancing in the aisles. It's impossible not to laugh. The New York Times. It's hilarious. Go see it. The View. Women need this. The Today Show. Featuring Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. June 27th to July 1st. Get tickets now at strasscenter.org. You don't want to miss this.
I'm having a hot flash. Ooh.
Hi, this is Tish. I've been with the station a long time, and the best part of my job is the nice people I work with. My decades of experience gives me the background to help businesses reach their goals. Whether your business is large or small, before you make your next marketing decision, give me a call. The number is 352-732-8000, or email me at Tisha, T-I-S-H-I-A, at WOCA.com. Working together, we can come up with a marketing plan that works.
Direct connects to UCF, where students who attend the College of Central Florida and graduate with an AA or articulated AS degree are guaranteed admission to the University of Central Florida. Success coaches are ready and waiting to assist you in designing an educational plan that is right for you in any of their locations across Central Florida. Remember, connecting is easy and guaranteed. Find out more at directconnecttoUCF.com. Here are today's headlines from the source WOCA. The Orlando police officer who was shot and wounded during a domestic violence incident in which 4 children were killed faces a long recovery. Doctors say Kevin Valencia is in a coma after being shot in the head. Valencia's wife Megan is asking for prayers for her husband's recovery.
Because my boys need a daddy. And I need my husband. And this community needs a real hero.
Orlando Police Chief John Mina says the Lopez and Lindsay children were killed with a handgun that Gary Lindsay Jr. stole from his father. Lindsay also took his own life. Now that the Singapore summit is over and President Trump is back in Washington, Floridians on Capitol Hill are reacting to his meeting with Kim Jong-un. North Florida Republican Congressman Ted Yoho chairs the House Subcommittee on Asia and the Pacific.
It's an invitation for Kim Jong-un to come into the 21st century, and I can only think that when he was walking around Singapore, looking at the different hotels and the structures and the prosperity, he's got to be thinking, I want this for my people. Let's hope he's thinking, I want this for my people.
Yoho says Congress will continue to push for sanctions and put pressure on China to stop money from moving into North Korea. Florida U.S. Senator Marco Rubio says he's skeptical about the North Korean deal, but he hopes it works.
I would love to be wrong. I hope that I wake up one day and realize this is truly the beginning of something very different, and that North Korea is going to abandon its nuclear weapons, is going to abandon its ballistic missiles, is going to become a more normal country, is going to close down those death camps. I hope all of that happens. I pray all of that happens.
Rubio says we can't forget that we're dealing with a leader who has inflicted suffering on North Korea and murdered many North Koreans, including his own brother. Forecasters are continuing to watch a tropical wave as it heads toward the United States. It now appears the system is moving northwest toward the Gulf of Mexico, and it still has a 20% chance of developing into a stronger storm. The system is expected to bring a large amount of rain to communities in its path. How much rain it might bring to Florida is still not yet clear. A Eustis police officer has been hospitalized after being shot in the leg yesterday afternoon. The shooter has died. The shooting happened at an AutoZone store on Bay Street. Police say employees saw a man later identified as Dylan Shane Ezel, who is in his early 20s, walk into the store with what appeared to be a gun. Employees called 911 and got out safely. Police surrounded the building. The officer who was shot in the leg is in stable condition. His name is Sergeant Kenneth Toller. Authorities say he's been with the Eustis Police Department for about 10 years. Details are sketchy, but Eustis police confirmed Ezel later died. His uncle Jeffrey Ezel said his family was in the process of getting Dylan help for depression. Florida authorities say they're looking for a driver who crashed into a motorcyclist, causing the rider to lose his foot. A Broward Sheriff's Office news release says the crash occurred June 2nd at a Fort Lauderdale intersection. Detectives say a white SUV hit 48-year-old Dale Hall's 1999 Harley-Davidson motorcycle and then kept driving. Hall was thrown from the bike and his left foot was severed. He was taken to a nearby hospital for surgery. Investigators are looking for the person who was driving the 1999 to 2001 white Ford Explorer with a Florida Gator vanity plate on the front bumper. Anyone with information should call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-8477. Tips that lead to an arrest are eligible for a reward of up to $3,000. The NASA Mars rover Opportunity has hunkered down as it tries to ride out a dust storm. According to Opportunity Program Manager John Callis, the storm made the skies pitch black from the rover's perspective. That makes it impossible for now for the rover's solar panels to charge its batteries, so he took action.
I made the decision to declare a spacecraft emergency because there wasn't enough energy for the rover to sustain activities.
He says the rover will now just ride out the storm and hopefully not get too much of a dusting on its solar panels. Opportunity, which was designed to work for 90 days, has been going for roughly 14 years. If you plan on hitting the beaches from Manatee to Lee counties, be careful. Kelly Richmond of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says there's a red tide bloom.
A bloom of the Florida red tide organism is still persisting in southwest Florida. In the past week, we've observed red tide in Pinellas County, Manatee County, Sarasota, Charlotte, at various levels.
The Weather Service has issued a beach hazard statement because red tide can cause respiratory problems. A woman snorkeling in the Gulf of Mexico rescued a tiny seahorse that was tangled and trapped in fishing line in a pile of garbage, and now the creature is a webcam star at a Florida aquarium. The 1.5-inch long seahorse was rescued by the snorkeler on Sunday. She carefully untangled the line, put the seahorse in a water bottle, and then rushed to Clearwater Marine Aquarium, which was made famous in the Dolphin Tale movies about a rescued dolphin without a tail. The seahorse has been given a name, Frito, and has been placed in a tank. It is brown and does resemble a Frito corn chip. It's a female, and the aquarium hopes she makes a full recovery so she can return to the Gulf of Mexico. Marine experts say fishing line threatens a variety of creatures, small and large, in the sea. Frito, by the way, is not the only seahorse to be rehabilitated at the aquarium. There was another seahorse that was called Cheeto because it looked like a Cheeto. It was found last year. And then there was another one called Funyun because it looked like a Funyun. All three snack-sized seahorses were discovered in the waters off of Pinellas County. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. 800-280-2144. Call right now. That number again is 800-280-2144.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Hi, I'm Russ Moore with Pike Mill. Our relationship with WOCA started in 2009. WOCA is family-friendly, community-involved station. When we moved to our new location on 17th Street in October of 2016, of course, we went to WOCA so they could tell everybody our new location. The folks at WOCA really care about their clients and want them to be successful. For all of your shipping needs, call Pike Mill, and to tell the Ocala area about your business, call WOCA, because WOCA radio gets results.
Celebrating the official spirit of America. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Get equipped for anything with a John Deere 3025E compact tractor from AgPro. It's equipped with a low price of $139 per month, and we have all the attachments you'll ever need. Request a quote at agproco.com. Offer ends 7/31/18. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. 20% down payment required. Taxes, freight, setup, and delivery charges could increase monthly payment. See dealer for details.
If you're aiming to take out difficult-to-manage pests, choose the insecticide that's always on target, Manecto Pro from Syngenta. Featuring a premix formulation of 2 powerful modes of action, Manecto Pro extends residual control of pests, including psyllids, mites, whiteflies, thrips, beetles, and worms. It's also designed to protect specialty crops, including citrus, tree nuts, palm, potatoes, and vegetables. So look out, pests. Manecto Pro doesn't miss. Visit your local Syngenta retailer for more information. Always read and follow label instructions. Manecto Pro is a restricted-use pesticide.
June 14th is National Bourbon Day, so join friends and raise your glass of this sweetened amber spirit and celebrate great whiskey. Bourbon is a whiskey which is only so named if distilled in the United States. To legally be considered bourbon, it must be 51% corn, stored in new, not aged, charred oak barrels, and distilled no more than 160 proof and barreled at 125 proof. This particular whiskey derives its name from the Kentucky County, which was established in 1785 and was a large producer of corn. The corn, once distilled, would be put in barrels and stamped Old Bourbon and shipped down the Ohio River. In 1964, a congressional resolution designated bourbon as America's native spirit. Since then, there's nowhere else in the world that can make a whiskey and call it bourbon. So pour a glass of bourbon and use the hashtag National Bourbon Day to post on social media. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312.